it seemed like during the draft process, there was so much negativity about Justin Herbert so that Tua looked better, unfairly to him, right? And we didn't see him as much as we saw Tua either. So I'm not going to even act like, we had just as much of an opportunity to see Justin Herbert. But this is with everybody. The whole draft was only centered around one thing. Who was going to get Joe Burrow, and could a team afford to let Tua sit for the year? And the consolation was Justin Herbert.
I don't know, man. Like, I think you're rewriting history a little bit, because I remember plenty of shows.
No, I'm not, because I've always going through the process.
I remember plenty of shows. I remember plenty of shows where we were thinking like, Herbert was going to be the guy. The Dolphins were leaning Herbert.
I mean, it was smokescreen in retrospect, but at the time,
there was smokescreen potential, but it's not like Herbert was out of the question for the Dolphins. But he looks amazing.
Well, maybe he was out of the question. We just didn't know it. That's
maybe
my
he
point.
was.
But do you feel comfortable making a decision with what your team and your franchise needs and having a preconceived notion before you even get into the process? Because look, whether it works out or not, it always seemed like,
I'd like to know.
From the beginning of last year, they wanted Tua. That's who they were going to get. Mm-hmm. End of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. I'd like to see what our guy looks like. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him out there.
Okay.
It would be nice. I wish we could go apples to apples, and you keep telling me don't put him out there. What's the point?
I'm still in no hurry to see him, though. I mean,
all right.
You hear it for the same reason why Justin Herbert was never going to play this year, right? Young quarterback. You have a established veteran that's going to play in front of him. He can learn from him, and things happen. Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing fine.
He's doing fine, yeah. He's actually, that's
not a reason to replace him.
I guess, but I think we're also doing a thing where we're delaying the inevitable. Like, there's gonna be game. We know how this works. It's gonna be. It's gonna go. It's gonna go 6-10. 7-9. Like, there'll be a game where maybe this week he's throwing more Olive Garden than he is. He's crazy old man, and maybe he has a good game. I don't know. I mean, they're taking on a terrible team this week. So
look, what you get with Ryan Fitzpatrick, but what I'm saying is, if the one thing being in a locker room that you would hate more than anything, and you hate seeing, is knowing that the only reason why this guy is playing has nothing to do with his ability to play. What I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to go in that locker room and say, "Oh, Tua's playing because he's the first pick," right? And even they talked about it on TV yesterday, as far as Herbert. They're like, yeah, they really didn't want him to play, but once he got in there, it's kind of hard seeing where he is to take him out. Whole different situation, right? If you were to put Tua in right now, you would basically be putting him in because he was the first pick, not because he earned it.
I guess we saw this. We saw this happen with Washington. Like, they just took out Dwayne Haskins, and now it kind of seems like that ride's over with barely them giving him a chance.
Right. And plus, it was a good feel-good story.
But yeah, look. Though the guy you watched last night, he looks awesome. That dude has a hose.
Oh, my God.
He has a hose. And he's gonna that guy's going to be tied to the Dolphins franchise forever. Like, is it like the Dante Drew Brees thing?
Yes.
Kind of, but it's except you're just starting off with two straight up young guys instead of free agents.
Very rarely do you have a situation like this that presents itself at an age. Usually when you have this situation, it's usually two guys that are leaving their team, and you have a choice between either guy. It's never, unless you have the first or second pick. Because usually once you get down to 4 or 5 or 6, there's never usually 2 quarterbacks left.
Right. No, and if you would have taken Herbert, they probably would have taken Tua. It's
and if you would have taken
imagine
Herbert, if they would have taken Herbert
with 2 on the board,
the city of Miami would have flipped out.
You would have had to take calls.
My point.
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. Our draft.
Tobin, stop. It's 6:07 in the morning. Stop lying.
I don't think the city would have freaked out if the Dolphins would have taken Herbert instead of him.
Our draft party would have lost it.
The city had flipped out.
Our draft party would have been lots of expletives. There were expletives already at our draft party.
Right.
They would have flown out the window if they drafted Herbert.
Here, let me ask you a question.
Until they came on our Zoom call. We had to be respectful.
When the Dolphins made that pick.
It's not who I wanted.
If they would have taken Herbert, would you got on the Zoom giggling?
No. But that's not who I wanted.
Okay, but you're making my point for me. That's not who I wanted.
But there's plenty of Dolphin fans that, trust the organization. Dolphin zombies, guys who trust what the team is doing.
That's what I asked.
There's plenty of Dolphin fans that like the fact that he's not playing right now.
Is it safe to say that maybe the people that made that decision know more than us?
No.
Really?
Why? Just because they have a high paying Adam Gase has a job? That dude sucks.
No. Based on what they've done, you got to kind of trust them to this point, though, right? Until they show you otherwise.
One would think, and then you give a guy like Jeff Fisher a job, and
No, but what does that have to do with here? You
because you give a guy a job title, you think just because he has a job title, he knows what he's doing.
No, I'm terrible. I have been very clear. Just because you have a job title don't mean you know what the hell you're doing. But what I'm saying is
going 7-9.
Based on what they have done up until that draft and how good everybody felt with what they did from the start to the finish and what the end result was at the end of last year. Going into this draft, you have to kind of trust what they're doing to this point.
And I think people are.
Not if they would have taken Justin Herbert.
But why?
Because look, from the beginning of last year, before Tua got hurt, all right, tank for Tua was real.
I agree.
You can't do tank for Herbert. And for that reason there, because you wanted Tua, the process.
There's also
you couldn't even acknowledge the process.
But Leroy, as many people as there were behind Tua, and I am, and still am, by the way. I think it's it would be nice. It'd be nice if I could see my guy go play.
Right.
I think the thing that you have to realize is there were still also plenty of people, because we did the shows. There were plenty of people that also didn't want to take the risk with the guy with the broken reconstructed hip and would be more happy with taking the solid. I don't
remember there being a whole bunch of people.
No, because you do. There were.
Okay.
I remember
maybe because I hear you every day.
I didn't hear the
other people.
Not me. I will fully tell you. I wanted them to take Tua. I'm not going to back off of that.
Yeah, but I understand. I'm just curious as to why.
Because he's awesome.
He was awesome at Alabama.
Okay, and Herbert was awesome at Oregon.
Do you remember Armando Salguero? After Herbert had a horrible game against Arizona State, he wrote an entire column ripping Herbert after his terrible game against Arizona State.
And you guys are rats off a ship off Tua because he had a decent performance. Which, by the way, they didn't win in the Superdome where nobody was there.
Hey, but
I mean, Badgley
by
missed
the
that
way,
kick.
I'm not against Tua. I'm just asking questions.
Loss is a loss, Robbie.
That's true.
I'm just asking questions because I know what I saw last night, and I'm basically saying to myself, right? Everybody must think Tua's better than him, and that means he's got to be really good because that kid's really good. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying based on what he did at Alabama. Tim Tebow won the Heisman.
Oh, dude, come on! They're not the same quarterbacks, though.
No. I'm not saying because he plays like Tim Tebow. I'm saying where do we get off saying just because a guy's good in college, he's going to be good?
But again, you're acting like the Chargers wouldn't have taken Tua. If the Dolphins would have taken Herbert, they would have taken Tua.
Again, right. I'm not again not saying that at all.
Which makes you.
I'm just saying, based on what you saw now, do you feel any different being so gung-ho about a back who had more issues than the guy you saw last night?
No.
Okay.
No.
And my question is why? Because he's awesome? It's not an answer. You
Why
can't
not?
make decisions in life because it's awesome.
Well, it's not fair. I don't have any games. You guys want to sit here and you want to play Fitzpatrick for the rest of the season, and you can't get mad at me. You can't get mad at me for sticking with my belief in the guy that I wanted because you got more proof because there was a rogue doctor who stabbed the other quarterback with the rib in the rib with the needle.
Which sounds crazy. Which sounds crazy in itself.
It's not even like Herbert earned the job. Like they stabbed the guy who had the job in the ribs with the needle.
Tom Brady didn't earn the job.
Okay, but like, what are we doing here? You're rats off a ship.
No, I'm not.
It's tomorrow.
No, I am not. I'm not. I would just. All I asked was this. Like. I know based on what Armando saw, he thought that Justin Herbert was going to be horrible because he saw, that game.
A lot of people thought he was Tannehill 2.0. That he was
really
that he was going to be a fine prospect, but not going to be the guy
with that arm.
Yeah, he
came to that conclusion.
He was body and arm guy. Like he was a combine warrior.
He was the prototype.
Okay.
So is Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, I know. There's been more busts than guys who make it. I mean, we can think of. Let's talk about Achilles Smith. Remember him?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the second pick in the draft?
I think first, wasn't he?
No, he was second or third.
No, he was second. We know
Also
of guys like that, right? Here. Here's what we're talking about. Drew Brees has made it possible to draft Tua. Okay? Without Drew Brees and without seeing it with your own eyes, a guy that Tua could possibly be, then you immediately would go to Herbert because he is the prototypical quarterback.
It's getting more common now too, like Russell Wilson,
Kyler
Murray.
Yeah, but those guys got arms. They're not. Those guys are. You don't. Those guys as Drew Brees.
Bro, first of all, don't tie Drew Brees' arm to Tua's right now because Tua's arm is, I would say, a lot better than whatever Drew Brees is.
I'm not the guy that said he was Drew Brees. He was lefty Drew Brees. I didn't say that. Other people have said that.
Well, my song is
said
Lefty
that.
Marino. I wrote a song about it.
Lefty Marino. There's no. I'm gonna tell you like this. There's only one other person I've seen throw the ball like Marino with the velocity, and that's Brett Favre. That's the kind of arm we're talking about with those two guys.
Robbie, why don't you hit the ID?
The Ticket is the home of every Miami Heat game.
At the buzzer, Jimmy Butler nails it. Wow.
WAXY South Miami and WSFS HD2 Miramar, a radio.com sports station.
I think it's unfair though to ask. I think it's unfair already to ask if the Dolphins should regret their pick because Herbert's having a game.
I didn't say that.
I think it's better to ask are Dolphin fans after watching Herbert because it's more of a positivity on Herbert than it is a negative on Tua. Like, are you now scared that they screwed up the pick because Herbert looks so good?
No. Here, the only reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is before you had talked to either one of these guys, the thinking around the city of Miami was, we want Tua. Before you even went through the process, before you went through the testing, before you talked to any of these guys, we want Tua. And before the process even started, Everybody wanted Tua. And I was like, hey, let's just go through the process. See what happens. You never know. You never know. And no, we want Tua. And I'm like, with thinking like that leads more to getting the wrong guy. Even if it works, it may work out.
But I find it strange how you're saying for me to trust the organization with the decision not to play him, but also you don't feel like they did that process with picking the guy.
I will concede, right? They know more about this than me. Okay, but I will also say this: that before a guy's senior year, everybody's saying how much the Dolphins want Tua without just letting it play out and still ending up with Tua, surgery and all. I'm saying it almost seems as if though you had your mind made up, not knowing if they still went through the process. Keep in mind. But it seems to me you had your mind made up before the season even started. Because before the season even started, Joe Burrow would not have been the number one pick. And so things change, but for some reason, through all that, the Dolphins' mind didn't change from a year and a half ago before the draft.
Understood, but the Dolphins, like, your biggest concern with Tua is a health. I think the thing that really should be a question though is for the guys who are more, I guess, getting picked higher because of college success. Like, shouldn't the question really been Herbert versus Burrow for like the Bengals? Like, isn't that the more interesting dynamic there? Because like Tua's red flag is not his play, his talent, or any of that stuff. Like, his red flag was just the fact that he had a busted hip.
Right. Well, I think seeing the season that Joe Burrow had was the clear-cut number one.
Yeah, Joe Burrow came out of nowhere, too. Like, he was a one-year wonder in college.
It happens. Did you know anything about Carson Wentz and Jared Goff before their senior year?
No, but people were
Did you know anything about I heard about Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Heard about him, but I didn't think, he's going to be a top pick.
A lot of anointing of Herbert yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, I will warn people. I think somebody brought this up to me. We did kind of do the same thing last year with Daniel Jones. And now there's talk about the Giants ditching him for Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, they gave him a nickname. That's different.
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes. Danny don't have no protection dimes. Danny lost his star running back dimes.
Am I being a jerk when I
yes.
When I said?
Do I need to? Here it comes. I got the smirk.
I wasn't that impressed with Trevor Lawrence this past weekend.
Trevor Lawrence?
He did throw a lot of screen passes.
I wasn't that impressed. Not impressed.
Because we used to see in numbers, but they tried to break it down a little bit. They tried to break it down a little bit and kind of put out there the different things that he does. Mm-hmm. And because all we see is the damn screen passes and ATM running down the field.
Oh, he's so scary.
How great of a receiver he. And I'm like, wow, he's only going like 5 yards down the field.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, all right, that's fine. And then I didn't like the fact that he faked his tummy ache and then all of a sudden was talking all this mess when he got into the end zone.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Target.
You can't be a wimp.
That weak targeting.
Targeting to the tummy. His perfect hair.
I feel like the Canes are always going to be without a player for a half. We've gone the last.
Yeah, I know. Like Amari Carter, it sucks because when I saw what originally happened, I was like, "Oh, Amari Carter, of course, targeting." And then they're like, "Well, he kind of got pushed back," and I'm just like, "Yeah, he did. How is he always so unlucky?"
I know. Well, I mean, you think they had his number written on their card? Oh, this number. He's a frequent offender. Throw the flag.
He's got the C on his chest for captain. He should probably have a T on his chest.
So Target
just have the Target logo on him.
Yeah.
For Crash. C for Crash Bandicoot because he's just smashing folks.
Yeah. If Amari Carter makes it big in the NFL, he should have an endorsement with Target.
Jeez.
His picture is going to be on the gift card.
You guys know where I like to get graphic tees after kicking ass on the football field? Target. Oh man. So yeah, Robbie, what do we got?
Oh yeah, so I bring you a tweet from Barry Jackson. He's the only guy. I know people think I have a burner Twitter account, but no, I just search.
Well, you have SDI. He's probably sending you. He's probably. Is he hate watching the Chargers? What is he? Is he back with the Chargers? What is he doing?
No, he is full team petty on the Chargers. He hates that Justin Herbert's good, but he does have solace that as great as Justin Herbert's been, he's 0-4 as a starter. Classic.
That's
Charger.
true. That's true. All numbers, no results.
Kabailer.
Really? All right.
I mean, he has a hose though.
Ooh,
He does have a hose.
jeez.
But people
You
are.
see that ball he threw on the run?
Yep.
That was one of the knocks earlier, is that he panics under pressure. But then he
Really?
Not
That looked
yesterday.
like the calmest dude I've seen play rookie quarterback in a while.
And he had that throw against Tampa Bay, throwing off his back foot.
I find it so hilarious too when they go to Drew Brees and he's just a haggard old man, and then you go to Justin Herbert, he looks like a child.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like,
It's the same thing when it's
if
like
you don't look at his face, you're like, wow, that's a strapping quarterback. And he takes his helmet off and he goes, hey, that's like that Hulu commercial.
Remember early in the finals when Tyler Hero got into a little bit of a thing with Markieff Morris? You're like, oh no.
Oh, no.
Baby Goat's gonna come in with a face tat next year. More street cred.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
So
I think there's going to be some situations this offseason with he's young.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
now you're clear now. There's no need to have Snitchy Mouse perusing the rooms.
I saw. Did you see what happened with him? He had another.
Another DM.
He had another DM leak, but this one wasn't. This one was actually kind of funny. Let me get this for you. Go with the headline, Robbie. I'll get the story up for you. This is funny.
I was just going to read this tweet from Barry Jackson.
Go ahead.
We have absolutely no idea if Herbert can sustain this over a career. He puts in parentheses, Robert Griffin couldn't. And no idea if Tua will be good / great as a pro. But credit to @Real Mike Tannenbaum and Chris Sims for being the most vocal media voices that Herbert would be successful.
No. What? Don't give them credit. For 4 games, you're giving Mike Tannenbaum credit? He would have had a good Dolphins career as an executive if he would have based it on 4 games. Get the hell out of here.
Whatever the opposite of rats off a ship is, all the rats are jumping on the Herbert ship.
All the rats see, what is there, cheese on Justin Herbert's pirate ship? Chris Sims would have been a good NFL quarterback if he would have gone off of 4 games. Like, get the hell out of here. That's the thing, though. No, Ryan Clark yesterday, he tweeted out. Let me get the tweet. He goes, first of all, he was kind of he for some reason found the need that he wanted to fire Anthony Lynn yesterday, because he goes, Justin Herbert is going to be a really good QB for the Chargers' next head coach. And so a person goes, you want them to get rid of Anthony Lynn? He goes, I do not, sir. I would never. I just think that if they don't start winning, they will. But then he also adds, and y'all don't jump on me, but did the Miami Dolphins draft the wrong guy?
Oh!
Whoa! He's putting it out there right now, Leroy.
Nah, I'm not ready to go that far.
And with the Dolphins, you can't go to the go-to move. Oh, the Dolphins would have ruined him. Well, he's on the Chargers. The Chargers aren't a pristine organization either.
No, definitely not.
I mean, but they've only had one quarterback in 20 years.
So
it does give them a little more credibility than a team that's had 17.
That's true.
And this offensive line has actually played somewhat decent.
Yes. I mean, if there's one thing that you could say.
How about this past week? Like they lose Austin Jackson, they put in Robert Hunt, they move over Jesse Davis. They were completely fine this past week.
Yep.
Like this is an offensive line is look for the Dolphins.
Depth?
I don't know.
What is this? Offensive line depth?
I don't know what this is as a Dolphins fan.
If there's one thing you can take away from this, and it kind of sucks that Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing okay and everybody's sad, right?
I'm not sad.
Like,
I'm happy
Wait, if you want another guy to play, the last thing you want to see is Ryan Fitzpatrick has a perfect quarterback rating.
Do I hate his?
Like, my guy's never gonna play.
Do I hate the thing where like he does the old truck? He does the old man trucking along celebration. Where he goes, he's like doing the locomotive down the field with his crazy beard mouth.
Right.
No, like he's having fun. Clearly, I think Mike Gesicki said yesterday. Mike Gesicki's like, best teammate I've ever had. I'm like, bro, you've been in the league for 3 seconds. How do you know Tua's not gonna be a better teammate? But all right, beautiful words by his teammate. He's like,
there's certain things that'll never that'll be consistent regardless.
Everybody loves Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's impossible, I would say, not to love the energy he brings, the enthusiasm he plays with. He's 37. He'll go out there. He'll run up the middle. He doesn't care. He'll have his loose helmet get knocked off for the love of football. But I can't say that I'm not watching Justin Herbert sling BBs down the field on Monday Night Football, and I can't say I'm not jealous. I'm just like, it's all right.
Right.
And it's great, and maybe that makes me a loser. I don't know, great game by the Dolphins this past week. Went out on the West Coast, kicked the crap out of the 49ers, made them tap out at halftime.
Yeah.
But it's Fitzpatrick. You ever watch the Leroy, when the Marlins were pitching, right, back in the day, like 2003. Mm-hmm. You know who led them in wins? It was Mark Redmond.
Oh,
right.
Really?
Nobody liked watching a Mark Redmond start. He threw like 80 miles an hour. He's a fat lefty. It wasn't as exciting as when Josh Beckett was on the hill, or Dontrell or Brad Penny just zinging BBs. Even though he ended up with more wins. So I don't know.
Well, now we know that wins are Fugazi stat for pitchers, but back then they were all the rage.
I'm gonna it's going great though. Like the line looks good. Now you have the defense. The defense actually looks competent over the last few weeks. Preston Williams had a big game. Gesicki's having putting a run together. So yeah, all right. I'm jealous.
How many times in years past, tonsils out? Oh, we're so screwed.
So screwed. Yeah,
Jawan James is out. Oh, damn it.
No, I thought they were going to put Davenport out there. I was like, that's not going to be good. And they're like, no, guess what? We're bringing up the other rookie, and he's going to go next to Kinley, and then we're going to move over Davis, who's like the lineman Swiss Army knife, and still a wrecking crew. I'm like, what is this?
I got to tell you.
Columbo.
Now, it should be noted that San Francisco defensive line, not having Bosa, is a little bit depleted, but they still had Eric Armstead, who Barry Jackson wrote an article about how rookie Robert Hunt, playing in his first game, owned the $85 million Eric Armstead.
Mauled him.